I'm Anna, and I would like to thank you for joining me. And a special thank you to the NLN for allowing me to speak about a favorite topic of mine, which is skincare. I hope by the end of this presentation, you will understand the importance of meticulous skincare and you will know more tips and strategies for skincare with lymphedema. Skincare is one of the main components of complete decongestive therapy, which is the gold standard for lymphedema treatment. While it is a main area of treatment, it does not get the attention that some of the other topics, such as manual lymphatic drainage and compression, get. A contributing factor may be that health providers believe patients already know what the expectation is for skincare, which includes cleansing and moisturizing. There is so much more to skincare when you have lymphedema, and all the components of CDT are important for skincare. Let's talk about what we believe the expectation is for skincare. When lymphedema therapists talk about skincare, we use the word meticulous. What does meticulous mean? According to the Cambridge Dictionary, meticulous means very careful and with great attention to every detail. When I think about meticulous, I think about homes. I dream about having a beautiful, clean home like you see on HGTV. My son has said to me, "You want the house to look like nobody lives here," which is not true. However, I would love for it to look like there is a great care and attention to detail in cleaning our home. What do you see in this picture? It looks fairly clean. I just put clean sheets on this bed before my helpers arrived. Sometimes it's not what you can see. I know I didn't dust the corners in this room or clean the baseboards, so I did not clean this room with attention to every detail. I am sure you won't find any cobwebs in the corners or dust along the baseboards or fur bunnies floating around the floors of the HGTV homes. The reality is, most of us do not have meticulously clean homes, at least not all the time. Most of us have a more lived in space. It takes time and effort to clean up just by living in a space. Can you imagine what would happen if you only spent a couple minutes cleaning up, but the dishes continued to stack up? The dirty dishes would soon take over the whole counter, and then eventually the whole kitchen. I think about skincare in a similar way. Skin cells are created continuously, and the old cells on top generally come off with friction, whether from a washcloth, clothing, or by some other means. If there isn't enough friction, the dry skin cells continue to pile up. These can thicken and form large dry skin plaques. This is especially true for individuals with lymphedema who are more likely to have dry skin and a condition called hyperkeratosis. So let's talk about the function of skin. Our skin is truly amazing. I believe we all can agree there is a wide variety of skin types between people, as you can see the difference between the two forearms here. We also have different skin throughout our body. The skin on the bottom of our feet is different from the skin on our thigh, which is different from the skin in our armpit, which is different from the skin on our face. When you have lymphedema, your skin in your affected area is different from the rest of your body. But no matter where our skin is, its main function is the same, which is to protect us. Our skin protects us from everything in our environment, including things we cannot see, such as bacteria. We need to take care of it so it can perform its main function. All it takes is one tiny break in our skin for something to get into our bodies, and the next thing you know, you have a red spot that's swollen, painful, and may smell bad. You may also start to feel feverish or have the chills. These, of course, are the signs and symptoms of infection. Lymphedema increases the risk of infection. This is our why. We need meticulous skincare to prevent infections. So, how do we do this? We start by carefully cleaning our skin and nails with great attention to every detail. Sometimes washing our body can be challenging, especially if you have a limb that is heavy with fluid. I find it interesting that many of the individuals I see in the clinic do not report difficulty with taking care of their skin, yet they show signs they are struggling. An area I often see neglected is around the foot and ankle where it's hard to see and reach. To complete skin and nail care meticulously, it takes a long time. I believe many of us rush through the process of bathing. When I was young, I remember being told that a shower shouldn't last more than 5 minutes, which may be enough time if you are on top of your skincare. Unfortunately, that is not enough time to do a thorough job when you have a buildup of dry skin. Tools can be helpful. Grab bars to stabilize your body to reach areas, a chair so you can take your time and maybe get your foot closer to reach, a long-handled loofah, or an extra long washcloth. Everybody's needs are different and there are so many products available. And you don't need to spend a lot of money to get something that is effective. I purchased these products at a dollar store. It is important to use products that are washable, especially important with lymphedema. Using a clean washcloth every time and even multiple clean washcloths when you bathe helps to reduce the risk of infection. If you attach a washcloth to your long-handled tool, you can use a clean washcloth each time and throw it in the washer. If you need help figuring out what tools could work for you, your lymphedema therapist can help you. It could be that you just need help getting the space clean between your toes, or reach to get to your underarm. While this may seem small, this is incredibly important to complete thoroughly, or as we like to say, meticulously. After your skin is clean, we need moisturizer. But before we get to that, we need to thoroughly dry the skin. This is especially important in any place there's skin-on-skin contact, such as between the toes, behind the knees, in the armpits, and in any skin folds. If it is warm out or if you have the tendency to sweat, you may need to use a powder or a moisture-wicking fabric in these spaces. For everywhere else, we need moisturizer to prevent dryness that could lead to skin tears, which can be an opportunity for infection or an opportunity for wounds to form. The type of moisturizer you use is a personal choice, but you want something that your skin responds well to, with a general recommendation for it to be alcohol and fragrance free. For skin that is under compression, it is recommended to use a low pH lotion. For those with any additional skin conditions such as eczema, you may need the assistance of a dermatologist to find the right product and also make changes with the type of soap and laundry detergent you use. There are many different types of moisturizers available, and you may need more than one to treat your skin. You may choose to use a lighter lotion for day before you put on your compression garment, but then use a heavier cream at night. You may need an ointment for the areas that are extra dry. In general, lotions have more water content than creams, and creams have more water content than ointments. Plant oils such as grapeseed oil and coconut oil may also be helpful in treating dry skin. There are many options, so if you continue to have dry skin, even though you are moisturizing daily, you may need to change what you're using. And why not combine self-MLD in the process of applying lotion? Manual lymphatic drainage stimulates the lymphatic system to speed up and move fluid that is just hanging out. With less fluid in an area, the skin has less pressure against it, which allows it to soften. So MLD is important for skin health. This is also a good time to check for any redness, rashes, or openings in the skin. What else can we do for skincare? We can wear compression to support skin health. I cannot stress enough how important compression is when you have lymphedema. When a limb is swollen with fluid, it puts extra stress on the skin. If skin is dry, it can tear. Long-term stagnation of fluids leads to thickening of the skin and also increases the risk of infection. Consistency with compression is needed for skin health. I often see patients who are doing well with wearing their compression, and then they have one day where they decide to take a break and their limb swells up. The skin often cracks under the rapid increase of fluid, and sometimes blisters form. The best thing to do in this situation is to protect the skin with some type of cream or ointment and apply compression. Short stretch bandages are the first choice. If you are consistent with your compression, cleansing, and moisturizing, your skin will heal quickly. However, consistency is the key to prevent injuries to the skin. Speaking of injuries, there are many things in our environment that pose a risk to our skin, and precautions are needed to avoid injury. Let's start with the sun. It's been beautiful this summer, and many people enjoy being by the water, and it is easy to forget how powerful the sun is and how much time has gone by when you're having a good time. Your compression may offer some protection from the sun, but it doesn't protect your skin that isn't covered. Wearing sunscreen and reapplying when needed is the best way to protect from sunburns. In addition to sunscreen, you may need protective clothing if you are a gardener or like to go hiking in the woods. A scratch or a bug bite can be a port of entry into the body, which could lead to infection. There are many products that help protect us from bug bites, including repellents and products for around the home that reduce their presence. When you are outside, you cannot control everything. Prepare for the risks, keep alert, and give yourself extra time for everything. In contrast of the unpredictability of being outdoors, our home should be our safe space that supports our well-being. With lymphedema, a big portion of the day is filled with self-care. Set yourself up for success. Keep the things you need, such as your compression, moisturizer, pneumatic compression pump, whatever you use daily, in a way that is easy to get to and easy to use. What I mean by this is, if you always sit in your favorite chair in the living room to apply your moisturizer, why not keep the moisturizer next to your favorite chair instead of storing it in the bathroom? Little adjustments can be the difference between getting something done and skipping it for the day. And as much as it pains me to say it, our pets are the biggest risk of injury to our skin in our homes. Recently, I had a patient in the clinic with a new wound on her forearm where she said her cat used her as a launching pad. I have a cat who has decided to live in my walk-in closet, and she pops out for a visit whenever anyone is in the bathroom. If she doesn't get the attention she wants, she will claw your leg. There are many solutions to this situation. I could place her outside the bathroom and close the door. I could distract her with treats. I could pet her to her heart's content. My point in sharing this is that everyone has their own personal situations, and it is important to come up with the strategies to reduce our risk of injury to the skin. So, what does exercise have to do with skin health? Exercise increases circulation to the skin, which supplies needed oxygen and nutrients. The muscles in our calves, when they contract and relax, are powerful movers of lymph fluid. You don't need fancy equipment or a pool to exercise. Walking is one of the best things you can do for your body, and you can do it almost anywhere. I had a younger patient with lymphedema in both of his legs, and while he had been through lymphedema treatment and had a good compression garments, he continued to get wounds on his legs. When we added in his walking program, which started at just 3 minutes of walking every day, he started showing an improvement in his skin and his wounds started healing. He eventually made it to walking 20 minutes 2 times a day and he stopped getting new wounds. So I'm a big fan of walking. And if you're unable to walk, seated exercises work great too. And that brings us to the last component of CDT, which is healthy habits. Our skin will tell on us if we're not doing the right stuff. Our skin will tent when we pinch it at the back of our hand if we're dehydrated. We can have bags under our eyes if we don't sleep well. And we can have odd coloring if we're not eating right and getting proper nutrition. Being hydrated, sleeping well, and nourishing our bodies with good food are all important for skin health. While it may not seem like skincare gets a lot of attention, all parts of complete decongestive therapy support healthy skin. Manual lymphatic drainage is important to stimulate the lymphatic system and soften skin. Compression is needed to contain fluid to reduce stress on the skin. Exercise improves circulation and increases lymphatic flow. Healthy habits, including hydration, sleeping, and nutrition, are needed for overall skin health. All of this, along with meticulous cleansing and moisturizing, is needed for skincare with lymphedema. Going back to those beautifully clean HGTV homes, I imagine they must have a large team to get those houses to look so perfect. When you have lymphedema, you also need a good sized team to help you figure out and manage all that comes along with it. That's what we are here for. Even if we're just here to empower you to take the time you need to care for yourself, we are here to help you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak with you today about skincare. Here are my references. And what questions do you have?